Today, I'm going to show you how I transform these Nike Air Force One sneakers I purchased from eBay for $27 and painted them into this black and gold honey pot. What's up, Super Squirrels? I'm Gigi, the director of Doodling a Puck in Chaos, and welcome to this video where you're going to see me do one of the longest sneaker paint jobs. And it's not because the paint job was hyper detailed or difficult, it's because of the taping involved. So many pieces of little tape used. But today we're going to go over painting fabric and how I covered up a mistake, taping, what kind of pen I use to draw on my sneaker, my #1 choice to date, and some other tidbits that would be good for you to know during your sneaker painting journey. Alright, let's jump into it. So, I already washed the shoe and treated the midsoles in February. Yeah, I've been sitting on finishing these for a minute. If you want to briefly see how I did that, check out my Instagram. I'll actually put the specific link to that video down in the description below. So let's jump into prepping. And we're going to begin using 400/600 grit sandpaper. And yep, this little square is all you need. Try not to sand over the hem or thread of the shoe. It'll fray and fuzz up, taking away from the design of your shoe, and plus it just looks sloppy. And your sandpaper will look something like this afterwards. Now, I need to take the sneaker outside to take off the factory finish on the sneaker. So I'm going to need this industrial strength acetone, my rubber kitchen gloves, and some cotton balls. Whenever someone uses the term industrial strength, take extra precautions. The precaution I'm taking here is making sure I'm outside where there's a lot of crosswinds and making sure to wear the proper gear, the kitchen gloves, while working with this stuff. Once outside, you put on the gloves, take a cotton ball and some acetone and rub the sneaker down. I usually use 2 cotton balls per section of the shoe I'm treating. This way I can be sure that I prep the shoe accordingly. After that's done, time to go back inside and start taping. We're first gonna start taping this little tag on the tongue of the shoe. I want this to be black. So I'm going to use masking tape, GAC 900 and Angelus Black. If you have Angelus's too soft, that will work in place of GAC 900. I'm gonna start by cutting off pieces of tape and placing them around the tab. This stuff bleeds, so if I can deter from spreading on other places other than the tab, super. You do not need a lot of paint to make this mix. It's a 1 part paint, 1 part of the GAC 900. Mix them together and slowly start to paint the tab. And this is what it looks like when I'm done. Now, there's an HE dryer where I stay and it has this detachable rack. So I place my sneaker on this rack, put it on a 30-minute dry time, and it basically just cooks for 30 minutes in one place. The instructions on the bottle say you can use a hairdryer to heat set this paint, but I obviously like this setup better. After the 30 minutes are up, let's remove the tape to see how well we did. Now that bleeding on the back of the tongue, whatever. But on the lighting, come on. And upon further inspection, I see that I should have pulled the tab to the side and finagled that tape under that whole tab section because the paint was darkest in the middle where it wasn't covered with tape, and so it bled out. Between you and me, I use my white Molotov pen to cover it up. Crude, but 88% effective. Let's keep it moving. If you see any stray hairs or loose thread on your sneaker, take your nail clippers and chop them off. And now, to the main event, taping off areas of the sneaker. I have my automotive tape, some scissors, my Malcolm Gladwell podcast queued up, and let's go. I did this section just to show you. I placed the tape as close to the shoe as possible with enough excess of the tape so I can push it under the layer or tolerance with the back end of my paintbrush. It'll give you a cleaner line, especially since I'm going to be painting the cuts of the shoe. See what I mean? I hope that made sense. If not, I hope the image explained the concept better. If you place tape down, a lot of it is sticking out and it won't go under the tolerance, take an X-Acto knife, trim it down, and continue. This took well over an hour to do, maybe 2 podcasts. Whew. But it is done, so let's start painting. The first layer of paint I'm starting out with is with the black in Creatix Flexible Adhesion Promoter. A little bit of black, about 3 drops of Creatix, mix it up well, and start painting the cuts of the sneaker, and it'll look like this. And I'm doing this to all the areas I know are going to be black. Now I can apply that same paint mixture to the top part of the sneaker. Make sure to use the blow dryer intermittently to help speed up the dry time of the paint. Okay, this is the first layer. Do not worry about those bald spots or places where you can still see white on the sneaker. This is just the first layer. A few more are coming up. But first, let's switch over to the metallic gold and let's put down its first layer. And we're doing the same thing as we did before. A little bit of the paint and a few drops of the Creatix. Mix it and apply after I remove the tape of where this is supposed to go. Look at this. Look how thin this paint is. When you're using the normal, more opaque paint, 3 to 4 thin coats and you're good to go. For this to fully cover the area, it was more like 7 to 9. Now you know, so let's just go ahead and get to work. Not bad. Now let's finish cleaning up that black and cleaning up those bald spots. that was done, one last cleanup was done using the white, and this is what it looks like after. This last part, which is the main attraction, took me 15 minutes total. To draw the design, I used my black fine point oil-based Sharpie paint pen. It's the perfect size for this. I got my pen, I have my Keith Haring piece I found on Pinterest, pulled up on my phone, and I was ready to go. After I finished, I was looking at the design from afar and noticed that one of the symbols I had picked on one side was thicker than the others. And as Bob Ross says, there are no mistakes, just happy accidents. So I decided to make all the symbols a little bit thicker. And I don't know if you can see the difference because it's slight, but to me, it made a world of difference. After that was done, I grabbed my toothpick and some paint and painted the Nike logo and symbol and the swoosh on the strap. And yes, I used a toothpick to do this. It was a lot of ta 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 ta, but obviously it was well worth it. And another thing I did that was an improvement from last time, this video is just all about revelations. I painted using flat black on this shoe, but the other shoe I had done before, I used plain black. As you can see, flat black has no stress in its life. The plain black though needs to lay off that Vaseline, it needs a powder or a sponge. Bay is shiny. Also, again, I know you can't really see the difference, but the symbols on one shoe are thinner than the other. So, I had a decision to make. Do I just leave it alone or do I try to rectify this situation? You already know. I apply Liquid Kicks Factory Finish to the gold and the Liquid Kicks Matte Finish to the black of both the sneakers. As you can see, when I put them side by side, I didn't completely dull down the shine of the other shoe, but it's looking a lot better. A lot better. Flat black. Yep. And that's the end of my video, Super Squirrels. If you found this tutorial to be entertaining, punch that thumbs up button. I would sincerely appreciate it. If you think you might want to be notified when I do yet another shoe custom, they're coming down the pipeline, so please subscribe. Links are down below if you want to know about any products I used. And out of curiosity, which technique are you gonna try on your shoes next? Toothpick painting or taking your shot and painting the tab or lining of your sneaker? Let me know down in the comments below. This is Gigi of Puck and Chaos, and I'll see you in the next video.